viewers, I come before you today as a member and representative of Hattori Hanzo and the Ninjas, wherein I am known as Satori, the Soul Seer. Today, we shall be discussing the ninja philosophies of life and death. But first, allow me to properly finish my introduction. We, Hattori Hanzo and the Ninjas, make our home in Nagoya, which is the largest city in the prefecture of Aichi, which is known as the heart of Japan, which is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Aichi, Japan, is homeland to not only the culture and history of samurai and ninja, but also various beautiful scenery and unique delicious foods. Since we are on the topic of life and death today, perhaps it is time for you to consider adding Aichi, Japan to your list of places to go before you die. Goodness, that took somewhat of a morbid turn. Forgive me, dear viewers. We shinobi do spend much of our time dwelling in darkness. But I must say, things will remain fairly morbid as we discuss the ninja philosophies of life and death. Recall from the last video that all ninja missions are categorized as either in or yo, yin or yang. In missions are carried out covertly, typically under the cover of night, as a ninja will dress in dark colors, attempt to sneak into enemy territory, confiscate important documents, set fires from the inside, or carry out other general spy work and sabotage. Yo missions are carried out overtly, generally in broad daylight. The ninja will conceal his identity as a ninja, but is otherwise openly interacting with people in or near enemy territory in order to gain important information. As you might guess, in missions can be quite perilous. Entering enemy territory may require the scaling of castle walls, jumping about rooftops, and or sneaking past enemy guards. Should you slip and fall, or be discovered by the enemy guards, your life is in immediate danger! By comparison, yo missions may seem quite safe. 'Tis true that yo missions do not put your life in immediate danger in the same way as in missions. However, even if you are under disguise during a yo mission, in most cases you will still be in enemy territory, and if it is discovered that you are a ninja working for an opposing master, chances are high that you will be captured and executed. Therefore, both in and yo missions may very well result in death. So how does a ninja deal with the possibility of his own death constantly looming overhead? You may assume that a shinobi goes about missions, ready to charge into danger and lay down his life at any moment. On the contrary, the ancient ninja texts say that this should not be a ninja's mindset. 'Tis true that a shinobi must serve his master and the land, rather than himself. However, it is exactly for this reason that he should not risk his life recklessly. You see, a shinobi is an invaluable asset to the land and the master that he serves, and so to lose his life on a reckless endeavor would be quite a waste. Wouldn't you agree? Therefore, rather than rely on brute courage and bravery, 'tis better to use your intellect and plan carefully so that the risk of death or failure is as small as possible. Let us suppose you want to enter the enemy stronghold. You could make an attempt to scale the castle walls at night, but with that there is a chance of falling to your death. So perhaps it would be better to don a disguise and walk right in through the main gates during the day. However, if the guard at the gate seems particularly strict, and it is likely that you are to be suspected, then perhaps sneaking in unseen is the best option after all, even if it means risking a perilous climb or two. You can't be captured by the enemy if the enemy doesn't know you exist. Recall that a ninja's most important mission is the gathering of information. So a ninja must use all of the information that he's gathered about a situation thus far in order to determine which approach has the greatest chance of success and survival. Now that we've discussed the importance of taking care to preserve one's life, let us take a look elsewhere in the ninja texts, where it says that you should not fear for your life. Come again? That's right. Life and death are predestined by the heavens, and therefore, to fear for your own well-being is to insult the heavens, because it implies that they do not have the power to protect you if it is their will. Therefore, it is simply best to do whatever you can for the good of the land, while abiding by heavenly principles and not fearing death. According to the teachings of Yin and Yo, Life and death are but opposite sides of the principle of balance, in the same way as night and day. Death is a part of in, and is therefore of the same essence as night, winter, and sleep. So if you do not fear the winter every year, wait. Depending on where you live, perhaps you do fear the winter every year. If you do not fear going to sleep every single night, then why fear death? Let us consider the words of a famous poet and military general from the 1400s, Ota Dokan. Out on the battlefield, the enemy pointed his weapon at Ota and said something that would translate to something along the lines of, "At a time like this, you must value your life." To which Ota responded, "Not at all, for I have fully realized that my life is not mine to value." Now this is an example of a man who is living by Doshin, the mind of principles, rather than Jinshin, the self-serving mind of man. Remember those terms? Furthermore, to be too cautious because you are fearing for your life can, on the contrary, and quite ironically, lead to your death. Think about it. In a situation where a ninja must confront an enemy in battle, or jump to a far rooftop, if he is terrified of death, this will have a negative impact on his physical and mental capabilities, because anything he does will only be a half-hearted attempt. On the other hand, if he resolves to purge the inner fear and trust in the heavens and the way of principles, this will result in greater confidence and greater capabilities, ultimately reducing the chance of death. So then, dear viewers, first we are told that a ninja must plan the safest route, so as not to throw away his valuable life. And then we are told that a ninja must live boldly without fearing death? What do we make of these seemingly contradictory principles? Allow me to offer my humble opinion as a shinobi. Consider all things, and use your brain to always be minimizing the risk of death. However, when the mission, or the moment of truth, or what have you arrives, you must not shrink back in fear. Be conscious of death, yes, but to worry and to think about it too much is most likely to have negative effects. I dare say this philosophy can be applied to everyone, not only shinobi. So be careful and mindful with your life, because it has potential and value. That's right, your life has value, and you have potential. There are things that you can do to serve the people close to you, the communities that you are part of, and the distant lands of the world. So you should always be thinking of ways to maximize your safety and well-being. On the other hand, do not be controlled by the fear of death, failure, or taking risks, because this can paralyze you and prevent you from achieving the great things that you are capable of. Continue to advance forward, but be smart about it. Well, dear viewers, what say you? How can you apply this ninja philosophy to your own life? Let us know in the comments down below. Speaking of which, may I say that I have thoroughly enjoyed reading your comments on previous videos. Keep studying and training, and indeed someday you too can be a shinobi like us. Next time, let us discuss some ninja skills to aid you in your journey. Until then, stay tuned into all of our social media platforms. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. To keep an eye on all of our ninja activities. But until then, I bid you farewell. Dodo!